Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Civilization Archive. We left Edo Period Japan last time at what lay ahead for this remarkable civilization. The currents of change were already beginning to flow. Today, we pick up where we left off. The 17th century was a time of profound transformation for Japan. The Tokugawa shogunate emerged as the stabilizing force after years of chaos. Picture the bustling streets of Edo, where merchants shouted their wares and laughter filled the air. It was a new order, sure, but more importantly, it laid the groundwork for a vibrant society, one that would influence culture and politics for generations. We can see how stability breeds creativity and prosperity, reshaping the fabric of life itself.
Aurelius, you talk about transformation as if it's just a change in who's in charge. But the truth is, the social fabric of Edo was woven from the lives of everyday people. The samurai, farmers, artisans, and merchants didn't just survive. They thrived and faced hardships within this system. Each of them played a part in shaping the rich culture that flourished. Their stories matter, and they remind us that change isn't just about power, it's about the people who live it.
You're right about the societal roles. The Tokugawa regime established a strict hierarchy that we can't ignore. Samurai were at the top, wielding power and privilege, while farmers toiled below them. Artisans had their place, and merchants, often looked down upon, were at the bottom. This hierarchy dictated daily life in profound ways, affecting everything from where you lived to how you were treated. It reinforced the stability the shogunate craved, and that's the tricky balance empires strive for.
But what about the consequences of this hierarchy? Sure, the samurai enjoyed certain privileges, but that came at a cost. Many were pushed into bureaucratic roles, trading their swords for pens. They lost touch with what it meant to be a warrior. This wasn't just a simple shift in roles. It was a profound cultural dislocation, leaving individuals to grapple with their identities in a world that no longer valued their skills as fighters.
A cultural dislocation, perhaps. But let's not forget, it was a necessary adaptation to a changing world. The samurai took on the critical roles of overseeing land assessments and enforcing the shogunate's policies. Their skills shifted toward governance, which played a vital part in maintaining stability. We often see this in history. When faced with challenges, empires learn to adjust. They evolve to survive, ensuring their longevity even as the landscape around them transforms.
Stability for whom, Aurelius? While the samurai adapted, the farmers were out there, day in and day out, toiling in rice paddies. Their very survival depended on the land they worked. Just look at the 1732 Kyoho crisis, Tirabtio. Famine is swept through, and with it came unrest. It was a harsh reminder that the weight of a rigid hierarchy could only be carried so far before it crushed those at the bottom. People were suffering, and that's a truth we can't ignore.
You raise an important point. The farmers truly formed the backbone of society. Their organization of land and irrigation was crucial for survival, especially during tough seasons. While the village councils enforced strict codes, they also embodied the community's strength. You see, their cooperation wasn't just about rules. It was a form of resilience. It allowed them to adapt and thrive. When we look closely, we see how these everyday struggles shape the very foundations of our civilization.
Resilience, yes, but at what cost? Sure, artisans thrived in urban centers, creating beautiful works that drew admiration. But they were often trapped in guilds that restricted their freedoms and choices. Each guild had its own rituals and rules, which meant many had to sacrifice their individuality just to fit in. Those bustling workshops, filled with the sound of hammers and laughter, often masked the real constraints on their creativity and the dreams they had to set aside.
A fair observation. The arts did flourish, but only under a system that maintained order and stability. The merchants, though they occupied the lowest rung of the social hierarchy, wielded significant influence through their wealth. They weren't just passive players. They actively funded kabuki troupes and supported ukiyo-e artists. Their financial backing blurred the lines of social status, creating a vibrant urban culture that thrived. This tension between wealth and class allowed creativity to bloom in ways we often overlook.
But the rise of the merchant class wasn't without conflict. Their newfound wealth really shook things up, challenging the rigid social order that had held for so long. Take the 1837 Osaka uprising, for instance. It wasn't just about money. It was a heartfelt cry for recognition and basic rights. Families felt the strain, and the system was cracking under the pressure of change. People were demanding a voice, and they weren't going to be ignored any longer.
True, the Osaka uprising laid bare the vulnerabilities of the Tokugawa regime. Their response, a flurry of administrative reforms, was a desperate attempt to cling to power. But this also highlights the dynamic nature of the era. Even within the most rigid systems, change simmers just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge. We often forget that history is never static. It's a constant negotiation between stability and upheaval, a dance of power that shapes the future.
Change was inevitable, and the contradictions of the Edo period are striking. You see, while cultural life flourished with art and theater, there were deep-rooted tensions just beneath the surface. The lives of everyday people, farmers, merchants, and artisans, were intertwined in ways that shaped Japan's future. It wasn't all harmony. Those currents of change were flowing quietly, almost imperceptibly, but they were there, waiting to reshape everything we thought we knew about that vibrant time.
What lay ahead for this remarkable civilization? The rigid structure imposed by the Tokugawa regime fostered peace, but it also sowed seeds of discontent among the people. We can see the cracks starting to show, can't we? The future was uncertain, yet it was clear that change was on the horizon. Edo's tapestry, rich and intricate, would soon be woven into a new narrative, one that would reflect the shifting tides of ambition and desire for freedom.
That's where we leave it this time. Edo Period Japan continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Civilization Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.